know what it is. Black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
You know who it is. Black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
Ode and Maurice, Ode and Maurice.
Maurice, Ode, Maurice, Ode.
Black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
Black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
Hey, oh.
Yes, Mo?
Are you ready?
Let's go.
Black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy. It's the Black and Snurdy podcast with Ode and Maurice.
I'm not gonna lie, I put that icy hot on my back, and it really got me like soothed out. You know what I mean?
Are you feeling relaxed?
I am feeling at maybe 20% relaxed, 80% just regular me. Does that make sense?
Okay, well that's good, right?
Yeah.
Are you sleepy?
No. Well, okay, regular me is not always sleepy. Just for the record.
I don't think regular you is always sleepy, but when I'm relaxed, I feel like taking a nap.
Okay, so fine. 20% of me is ready to fall asleep in the tub.
Okay, I mean, hey, yes.
Yes.
I want to say 50% of me is ready to do that, even though I am not necessarily super relaxed.
Oh, man. Somehow, but you just said 50% of you is
Yeah.
relaxed. I only said 20.
No, 50% of me, I said 50% of me is ready to be laying in a tub
gotcha,
going to sleep.
Gotcha.
Because I love baths and I
Mhm.
love sleeping in baths.
Yeah.
So I'm really kind of always at a 50% ready to do that. So
Oh, okay. Well, either way, 50%, 20%. Either way, we would not have a passing grade for relaxation. If this was a standardized test of relaxation, we would fail. Would we not?
that yes, that is true.
Just saying.
You have made a point.
Mm-hmm. So what's up? What's going on this week?
There's a lot of things. It's been interesting.
Well, hit me with that sweet. So here's the thing, like, because I'm not as active on social media. It's like I don't want to say it's a trigger for me, but it causes me a lot of anxiety, and so that way, like, I just sort of like block out a lot of the stuff. But luckily, you, the journalist, always have your nose to the grindstone. So I kind of look to you to let me know what's going on. So why don't you hit me with them sweet news? What's going on?
Well,
Slap me in the face with that sweet, sweaty news.
funny enough,
Mm-hmm.
news constantly being in your face
Mm-hmm.
will always make you anxious.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't necessarily love having to stare at my phone and be at the grindstone, as you said, because it's a lot to be paying attention. But since I am,
Yeah.
here are some things that I learned this week.
Ooh, knowledge.
Some of them are good, some of them are bad,
Mhm.
some of them are ugly. It is up to you to decide what they are. So one, we have not gotten a passage for continuous stimulus checks for the next foreseeable future because we're in a panorama.
Yep.
However, they did see fit to find the funds to bomb Syria.
Ooh, I did hear about this in passing.
It was,
in pre-production.
I'm just gonna
Jokes,
I'm
jokes.
gonna just tell you, like, I'm just gonna read this from the New York Times,
Of course.
because I'm not the authority on this.
Of course.
This is news that people should know.
Yeah.
The U.S. airstrikes in Syria target Iran-backed militias that rocketed American troops in Iraq. President Biden ordered retaliatory strikes against the militias, whose attacks in Erbil this month killed one civilian contractor and wounded a U.S. service member. So that's not all of it. You could obviously read more if you would like to be more depressed at the fact that we are still bombing people, like, regardless of what the reason is, and that we still have not yet had a full pandemic coverage. Because honestly, I feel like they did pass something a few weeks, like last week or this week, that said I believe we're supposed to be getting another 1,400. But my question is, why does the number keep
changing?
Because,
like, I literally just got a thing in the mail that said that they're putting in the 600 in my account, which for the life of me feels insulting. It just feels insulting to send me mail to tell me that.
The fact that they're giving us $600, like, what year do you think this is? 1970? Like, yeah, when my grandpa was making, I don't know, $1 a week or something in the 70s, or what was it, $10 a week?
I was about to say, like,
Sorry,
how old is your grandfather?
No.
When did he start working? That it was only $1. Was he like a paper boy?
I think it was like my mom was born in 59, so like around when she was growing up, sometimes he would be making only like, I guess you consider $10 a week or something like that. Wasn't a lot, or maybe $10 a day. I don't know. Whatever it was, I remember the number 10, and I remember being so confused at how anyone could be working and supporting a whole household of a daughter in private school and 2 other daughters in college and a mortgage, but obviously able to because the prices of everything. It was popcorn at the movie theater was a quarter, or a nickel or whatever. So clearly you didn't need that much. But the fact that you would like to give me $600 for what? What am I doing with $600?
I mean, honestly, okay. So quite frankly, like I said, $600 is insulting. I would like to receive that $1,400. Could we just round it up to $2,000? Like, would it be that hard?
I don't understand why they're not doing that. I don't care that you gave some people $600 because you're still trying to debate.
Oh my goodness,
the $1,400.
I feel stupid right now. Is the $1,400 because the last round was $600?
Yes,
that's stupid.
That was an argument being made. Oh, like, we already gave the $1,400 and this is, or $600, and now this is the rest of it for you because, you know, what is that? It's like they're reneging. It's like, I don't even know what sort of shenanigans this is, but I don't like it.
But okay, so then technically that wouldn't even be the third round. That would be like second round part 2 Electric Boogaloo if we're rounding it up to 2,000.
Well, know? I mean,
look, listen. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm grateful to be in a position where, like, I specifically am not, I'm not in super duper need of a stimulus, but there's so many people in this very country who literally still don't have work. They're still don't have like any form of like income coming in. Various industries that are still shut down, and even industries that keep trying to open up and then keep shutting down. It's just very upsetting to me.
I, for one, will say I actually do need the stimulus. I mean, I need the $600. Yes, I need it. Yes. It will definitely be helpful. I need the $1,400. But the fact that all these other countries countries that are allegedly third world and countries that are at the same type of like economic structure and all that as us have been able to like completely do things differently, but yet and still here in America we are again having the shittiest of luck, just getting our bare minimum of needs met. And it's frustrating.
But hey, look, listen. I'm hoping, and this is the saddest thing, but this is the bare minimum of hope that I have. I just hope that pilot that dropped that bomb was wearing a mask. Like, I just hope that at the very least the armed forces are adhering to, CDC guidelines. Obviously, they're social distancing in the air.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad that you brought up bringing a mask.
Very dark.
Wearing a mask because a spot of good news this week is Bobby Shmurda, of the hot guy fame, of throwing his cap in the air and catching it.
And neither of us can actually sing the song.
Because
I can't curse right now and you don't like saying that word.
I mean,
even though you're from New York.
That doesn't mean anything. I just don't. I don't
throwing the hat up in the air and it disappears.
I don't feel it necessary. It doesn't really raise much joy in my heart.
It's okay.
Rather say there's so many other things I could say. Yeah. But When you mentioned the masks, it made me remind me of a picture of him I saw on Twitter
Mhm.
where he was in a club. Which I mean, on one hand, he was in a club, so that really wasn't that great because there's a lot of people.
Okay.
However, he did have on a very secure N95, which was completely covering his face.
Thank you.
Completely covering
See?
his no, not just his face. It had covered his whole entire nostrils. And then also one of the women asked, like the bartender lady, bottle girls, was like, "Oh, do you want a drink?" And he was like, "Nah, I got my juice." So I'm glad that Bobby, he's in the club, he's enjoying himself responsibly.
Go Bobby.
And not trying to get himself in trouble again. He said when he got out, he said that he'll be turned into a light-skinned Jamaican in Queens before he goes back to jail. And I mean, if you've seen Bobby Shmurda, you could understand how
Oh my goodness.
obviously he's saying that, like,
That's
I'm never
amazing.
going back. So I just that made me feel good, you know.
Yes.
Because but only thing is I felt like he looked a little bit sad. Like he didn't look very, not like, he just kind of was sitting there, but it felt like he just had I feel like his energy just seemed really off. And I just hope that when he, being home, that he has enough funds and everything to really get whatever self-care and things he needs, because being in jail and prison and things is not easy, regardless of who you are.
Mhm.
You're being taken away from your family,
Mhm.
your friends, freedom.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's a terrible, terrible place, especially now with the corona. Like, I can't imagine what it was. I mean, we can imagine what it was like for them there, because a lot of them were
saying it.
and finding ways to use their cell phones that they always seem to have in there.
Yeah.
To show what was going on. But it was really sad. So I just hope that he can, like, take care of himself, because mental health as well.
So 2 things. One, could you look up how old he is and how long his stint in jail was? And 2, like, yeah, I was gonna definitely touch on that. Like I don't understand how he's supposed to look. Like, like, imagine if like, you're on the come up, like, you got one of the hottest songs in the city. A lot of other, like, rappers are making mention of it. I think Cardi B has a reference in one of her songs and stuff. But either way, you're popping off, and you're young. I want to say that when he went in, he was maybe in the early 20s, if not the 18, 19, something like that. Either way, he goes in a real one, as a side note, because he didn't snitch, he didn't rat anybody else, he didn't roll on anybody. So he did his time. Because look, I'm a civilian. Okay, I'm gonna happily say that I'm a civilian. I'm not from the hood, I'm hood adjacent. Allegedly, I am familiar with that life in various degrees. And therefore, like, I just know, again, as a civilian, like, I understand that if you're gonna get into that life, then there are certain things, there are certain codes, there are just certain, like, roads that you go down and that you live by, if that's the life that you're gonna be a part of. There's a lot of people who go into that world thinking that they're gonna be all tough and stuff, but when when stuff hits the fan and they get locked up and the feds got you in a corner and saying, "Oh, you'll give you less time if you roll in your thing." Look, some people they take that route. Other people, they don't. They whatever. And again, it's one of those things that, like, I'm not sitting up here like I admire everybody who's on the streets or anything like that. What I'm saying is that if you're going to live that life by those codes. And he did. He did.
I mean, okay, I understand what you're saying.
I'm not advocating for that life.
I'm not saying you're advocating.
I hope that I make that clear.
That's clear to me.
Yeah.
But what I'm
mad civilian.
I do feel like that some of these codes, like, I understand not snitching in some aspects. If you all robbed a bank, then go. That's you. You shouldn't have done it. That you take your time. If we have when we rob this bank, If one of us gets caught, they're just going to take the whole thing. All right, fine, do that.
Yeah, exactly.
However, I feel like if you know somebody in your clique, your group, whatever you want to call yourselves, like
Social
shoots a 10-year-old,
okay,
then I
feel like that's a part of the code.
okay. But I feel like that's the part where you should be okay with saying like, yeah, it was so and so because I didn't have any part of that, and I didn't need to have any part of that because that part was terrible.
I feel okay. So again, allegedly, and I'm just adjacent. I feel like there's a part of that code of just like no children, and if children end up being involved in a, like, and let's call them incidents, because I hate just saying the word shooting anywhere near the actual word children, which is why I stretch those two words out away from in the same sentence. But I feel like there is a some form of code of just like no children, no women, or something like that, or some along those lines. No civilians. That's usually it. Children are civilians. No civilians, and especially if it's children, civilians. They're it. Anyhow, I do adjacently feel as though there are some levels of code that involves it, but again, it differs from, I guess, area to area, location to location. So.
I would say yes, there has generally been a code, but I feel like at these times, a lot of people are not really adhering to those codes.
Ooh, I will. So yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
So that's the
on
problem.
That we can agree.
Like, a lot of things happen, and then the codes go, like the codes that used to be around, the respect and the honor and valor, whatever you want to call it, that used to be around. A lot of these young people are not really adhering to that because it's just a lot. But so you asked me 2 questions I want to answer.
Yes.
So Bobby Shmurda is 26 years old.
He's 26 years old, and as of now.
As of now, yes.
He got out of jail at the age of 26. That's what I'm just clarifying. Continue.
Yes. So he was sentenced to 7 years, but he only needed to serve 5 due to time served because he had served 2 years awaiting trial.
Okay, so he went in at 21.
Yeah,
is what I'm hearing. See, like if you're on the come up, 20. That's most of your 20s. If you're spending most of your 20s, behind bars and stuff, like I'm not saying I would come out and be like the happiest of cancers. I wouldn't be the happiest of campers either. I equate that kind of to well, okay, this is a very false equivalent. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out there. It's a very false equivalent. But I equate that to getting out of the military. Like you put in your 20 years and you come out, and now you're like a 38-year-old grown man who like now is just thrown back out into the world and just like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know. What do these skills say? Like, I guess I'll be a mall cop or something. I don't know. Like, I don't know what that transition is, but there's still like a lot of the social elements that you missed that you just need to have in your 20s. Yeah. I did so much in my 20s that now that I'm in my 30s, I feel more knowledgeable, and I just feel bad that if I was stuck in one place for a large portion of my 20s, like I wouldn't be happy either in some of these photos. Yeah, is all I'm saying.
But I think this is also just a larger conversation of having adequate mental health services for people when they get out of prison.
Yeah,
because recidivism is really high, and a lot of that is just because, regardless of how long you've been in, I mean, of course, if you're probably in jail for a month, you're not going to have what's her name from Full House, Aunt Becky, is not going to have the same kind of mental health crisis as someone like Bobby Shmurda. Yeah. Or I can't believe I forgot his name, but there's this old man that just got out of jail after like, I don't know, 36 years or something like that. I think he's 67 years old. He went in as a kid and it was like for weed or something dumb. Like he obviously definitely needs mental health. But regardless of how long you've been inside, you should definitely have those resources provided for you to like help you get back into the world, because even when you're gone for a month, your life changes.
Yeah.
So imagine being like, I can't imagine going into prison and like you come out and there's like a whole new technology. Like, was TikTok even out
Oh
when
no.
it wasn't? I don't think TikTok was out when he went in.
I forget that all right, so there is a video, and I'm gonna have to show you this. Remind me to show you this after we are done here. But there is a video of DMX. You
Yeah.
Was that him like figuring out what the internet is or something?
I feel like he was doing it was something where he was trying to figure out some kind of like technology. He
Yeah.
was so
It's
confused.
like, whoa, what is this? Like,
Yeah.
yo, that's crazy.
Oh my God. DMX, please do not fault us for any impressions done
honestly,
of you.
I've seen DMX lately, like on TV, on Versus.
He
and
was
whatnot.
really great for
He
Versus.
was really great. I think he blew that thing right out of the
Did.
water.
He looked really healthy.
He does look very. I feel like this is the longest stint that he's been out, and I'm happy for him.
Me too. He's been because he's a plant dad.
Mm-hmm.
He's been watering. He has like orchids and things.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's finally really. He has definitely done a lot of self-care
Mm-hmm.
because I remember a few years ago when his son was on, I think, Ilanya, I think it was, they were on Fix My Life.
Mm-hmm.
And his son was like, will you stop using drugs so that we can like have a relationship? And he was like, if you don't want me with the drugs, you don't want me. And it was like, that was really heartbreaking. But now I feel like he just looks better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important, but I feel like it took him such a long time to be able to find people that actually cared about his mental health. Because when he was rapping, all of his songs are so sad, and when he tells the story behind them, it's like talking about when I was 14 and this person started giving me crack, and it's like okay, and like nobody seemed to have cared back then.
I got the demons in my head and they're talking to me. That's schizophrenia, like for sure. So I'm a mental, like I say this all the time, I'm a mental health advocate, not a mental health expert. I am happy that he is getting the much needed care that he deserves. I honestly feel like, quite frankly, just gonna throw this out there, a lot of the sort of celebrities who tend to get into shenanigans on a regular basis. Let's say there's one in particular who, just is known for sort of like outlandish behavior throughout the past decade and has, I don't know, maybe made it known that they suffer from mental health issues and maybe go out of their way to say, I'm not going to put on my medication because it's messing with my creativity, and then goes on to make 3 lackluster albums. They have the money is all I'm saying. Like, if you have the money to get yourself some help, please get yourself some help. I'm not Po no more, so I can afford to have a therapist. Shout out to my therapist to just check in every week. But I advocate, if you have the resources available to you, because I know that a lot of people don't, but if you have them available to you, please seek out help. Advocate, not expert.
I mean, that's really true. I mean, I think that for me, whenever, like throughout this whole pandemic situation, I have been lucky to be able to have my therapist. And I've been seeing her now, I think, since 2019, which is great because I don't know how I would have made it through this whole panorama without her.
This panda.
But I think that, one thing I do, regardless of what job I've had, whether she took my insurance or not, is I've tried to budget that in. And it's not like, I mean, I know that I am where the money resides. Okay? Money flows to me easily. I know that. I'm abundant.
Okay. I'm not going to snap because I don't want it to spike this, but just imagine me doing a Z.
But I do, I think that, like, one, I was always taught the importance of mental health and therapy. So for me, especially since I started going to therapy, like, I'm not trying to backslide out of it, which is important. And I wish that everyone would have had the ability to express themselves as like a kid, and be taught that like mental health is important
Mhm.
and therapy is important.
Mhm.
Even though like I didn't start going to therapy until I was at Howard.
Mhm.
Um, I wish that I had gone sooner, honestly.
Yeah.
But so many people that I know now, like some of my friends, I'll talk to them about therapy and they're like, oh, no, I can't because whatever reason.
Mhm.
Or I don't know if I'm the therapy type. But really, they don't understand that there's so many different types of therapy.
Mhm.
And so many people are just struggling because they don't have the resources and they don't know about them, regardless if they have money or not. Or they have money, but they feel like, not taking your meds is okay because of whatever reason. But there are so many different ways for you to, there's so many different meds, and all of them are not like super heavy chemicals.
Yeah.
There's like there's different things that you could do that you can kind of mix in with meds that maybe you could only have to take like 10 milligrams, and then you're doing your yoga and you have a coach and you have all these things.
Mhm.
But if that's not shown as a priority, and if there's still so much stigma around it, people are not going to want to do it, regardless of whether they have the money and the resources and the know-how, because it'll still be seen as like, oh, I don't want to look crazy.
Right. Yeah, I'm glad that our generation and also towards the younger generation are making like mental health
Oh yeah,
like in self-care a big priority,
yeah.
especially in our community cuz come on, like I definitely, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, but I've definitely heard the phrase, you gonna pay somebody X amount of money to tell you about your problems? No, we keep that in the house. We keep that in the family. We ain't gonna tell somebody our secrets and stuff like that. That is not anybody in particular in my life. I just want to make that clear. I
I would
was
hope
not
not.
imitating anyone at all. There's no one that I know who sounds like
Is
that.
that why?
I just want to make that very clear in case anybody is listening and thinks that I'm making a horrible, horrible impression of them. I am not. That is somebody who just lives in my head. But I'm glad that we're starting to make that a priority, like in like sort of popularize it within our community. Um, I like it because yeah, like even if it's just talking to somebody to help give you perspective uh of a current situation that you just can't handle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just good to get an outside perspective.
And I think that some people think you need to go to therapy because there's something like big has happened,
Hmm.
but or like that there's something wrong with you. But
Yeah.
there's people go to therapy for all sorts of things. Sometimes it's you go to I just if you just started a new job, you just had a baby, you just got married, maybe something tragic has happened and there's like a trauma,
Hmm.
or you have like another mental health thing, like you have ADHD, or you are feeling, depressed, or whatever the case may be. Like all these things are valid
Yeah.
to go for. And every single time you go, you're going to be dealing with something different that's going to, or not every single time, but you'll generally be dealing with enough things where you'll be able to like just help make sense of your life.
Yeah, I started therapy in 2000 when I was 29. Mind you, I was diagnosed as manic depressive as a kid, did nothing about it, and even just started like maybe feeling okay to even address it in college. I started going to therapy at age 29 to quit smoking. Honestly, like that was the impetus. The impetus was I'm gonna start therapy because I want to go into 30s with a cleaner, healthier lifestyle, and in order to do that, I have to quit smoking. And from there, like we talked a lot about the source of the smoking and the anxiety, and then from there we dealt with any number of things, including addressing my mental illness. Like and it just like I've been putting in the work for all of this time. I've been able to comfortably say that like I've applied what I have learned to my daily life, and now I'm to the point where just today therapist was like, "You know what? Let's do this every 2 weeks as opposed to every single week because I think that you've got enough of the tools in place." And if it's literally whatever work you put in, I like I said am an advocate, not an expert. everybody, if you have the resources, go for it. Try it out. Hey, Odie, quick question.
What?
Do you think it is time for us to take a quick break?
I do.
All right. So how about this? We are gonna take a quick break, and we will be back with this thing that we call our show. It's
All
our
right,
show.
It is our show.
All right.
Adios. We'll be right back. Or
BRB.
ciao, Bella.
You're listening to the Black and Snurdy Podcast.
We now return to the Black and Snurdy Podcast.
And we're back from outer space.
Turn around now.
With that sad look upon your
face.
I swear that is a secretly abusive song. It is.
I don't think that it is abusive.
First I was afraid. I was
was
petrified.
Thinking
The
that
song
I
starts.
could never live without you by my side. Okay, now, wait. No,
There
okay,
we go.
wait.
Listen. Yeah.
All right. I could see emotional, verbal abuse,
Mm-hmm.
not physical. Because if she's saying...
That's
because
abuse.
I know that's abuse.
I didn't say
You
what
did.
type
You did
of
not.
abuse.
You didn't.
I just
You
said
didn't specify.
abuse.
When people say abusive, like the first thing that pops into my head, I'll think like physically abusive, and then I'll go down the whole list. So okay, it's possible that it could be some toxic relationship that she's talking about.
I always think so. It's funny that you say that. Like I always think like emotional abuse because I feel like that's the most like pervasive
Mm-hmm.
because that's like psychological. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I feel like any charming individual can like just like worm their way into your heart and mind and then just start saying things every now and then like you ain't nothing without me, like and like just destroying like a self-worth type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's yeah, obviously apples and oranges. I'm not about to sit up here and say which one is worse or whatnot.
No,
They're
we
all
don't play
awful.
Oppression Olympics. All of them are terrible.
Yeah.
Because scars may fade, but words never do.
Mm-hmm.
So both of them you would need lots of time and healing and therapy and self-care and self-love and all that
Yep.
jazz to get over. So yes. Now, I mean, it could be, though. What about a survivor's anthem? Because
I'm a survivor.
no. Well, yes, we know that. But she says that like I don't care what I thought when we broke up. You're not welcome in here anymore.
I should have changed the stupid lock. I should have threw away the key. If I knew just what for 1 second, you'd be back to bother me.
Now go out the door. Just turn around now, 'cause you're not welcome anymore. Aren't you the one who tried to play me with your lies? You thought I'd crumble? You thought I'd lay down and die? Oh no, not I. I will survive. For as long as I know how to love, I know I'll stay alive. And I've had all my life to live, and I have all my love to give. I will survive. I will survive. Hey, hey.
I'm so glad that she was able to recover from that abuse and create such an anthem. So I'll give you that. I'll give you that. It is a survivor's anthem. Yeah.
Yeah, perseverance. What?
Yeah. What? No. Say that one more time.
Perseverance.
Yeah.
Resiliency.
Mm-hmm.
And strength and vulnerability, because you could you could have all those things. You could be strong and vulnerable. Strong, vulnerable.
I gave you water. I don't understand why you're
know.
not utilizing
First of all,
it.
we're
It's
in the
right over
middle
there.
of a panna cotta.
Yes, we are definitely in the middle of pajamas.
So I don't.
Wait,
know.
and what did that have to do with water? What are you talking
Because
about?
obviously I'm so stressed out
Mm-hmm.
from the fact that we are almost a year.
It
into
will have been a
this
year. It will have been a year.
Pandemia
Mm-hmm.
coming up shortly, and I just can't believe it.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like I was living in a whole nother life in the before time, and I literally like I I had a conversation with I could say this. I had a conversation with my ex where she was essentially like saying like, hey, I'm hearing a lot of stuff about this coronavirus, and like it's it seems like it's on its way, and there might be some sort of like, like big outbreak of any kind. And I remember specifically being the dummy who said, "Come on, it's New York. Are you kidding me? Like, you could turn down a block and just get a whiff of just like, vomit and urine like at any
Asbestos.
given day." Do you know how disgusting and dirty those trains are? Have you ever been in the bathrooms at Atlantic Barclays?
Ugh.
Even in the morning at like 4:30 when they just been cleaned? Like, it's the
They're
most
always
filthy,
wet.
Yes, it's the filthiest, disgusting city. Of course, we're gonna be fine. Fast forward, New York City is on complete lockdown.
I always thought that I honestly am surprised it's not as bad as what I thought it was going to be. And that's saying something.
It was pretty bad for a long time.
No, it was pretty bad, but like the whole idea of my biggest fear, because I am a doomsday prepper.
Are you?
Yes, I am. I may not always have the accoutrement of a doomsday prepper, but this is what I want to tell you. When this panorama happened, I was livid at myself because I have been making a doomsday prepper plan since I was 7 and I saw Deep Impact, followed up by Armageddon, and I was like, oh shoot, things can get real so fast. So now, in my 7-year-old brain, I started piecing together things that I needed to have in case, like, the world was about to go into a tizzy. And when this panorama happened, I had little to none of those things, okay? My first aid kit was expired. I didn't have any more bandages because I'd been using the first aid kit over the years, which obviously not a good plan. I did not have enough water, just stocked up. I obviously did not have enough toilet paper. And I want to say one thing. Why the fuck did everyone need to put so much toilet paper? You're in the bathroom. If you go number 1 or number 2, you could literally just take a shower. And you don't have to buy thousands of rolls of toilet paper. And also that's gonna like clog up your toilet, which would then cause an overflow. Why didn't everyone, instead of spending all this money on toilet paper, spend money on like a Tushy bidet?
Okay, so I want to break down several things that you've just rattled off at me.
Yes.
And I'm gonna work backwards. So first and foremost, I feel like the individuals who was hoarding all of the toilet paper were like like it was a combination of like families who knew that they were gonna be trapped in their house with multiple people, not just like themselves. And then on the flip side, also just weirdos hoarding all of the toilet paper just because they know it's gonna. In fact, it's almost like a domino effect because they know that it's gonna go out of stock, so they buy as much as they possibly can, thus making it go out of stock quicker. So it's this weird Ouroboros snake eating its own tail of a cycle. Now, working backwards even further, but actually going a little bit towards so this Tushy bidet, right?
Yes.
Okay, do you know how much it is off the top of your head?
It's only like $120. And that's not, but there's,
I don't know.
Tushy's not the only one. That's the only one that I know of because I hear about it all the time.
Wait a minute, time out.
But
Now that's the other question. The company is called Tushy.
Yeah.
It's like
it's for your Tushy.
Yeah, I know it's for your Tushy, but like the company itself is called Tushy?
It's called Tushy.
Do they have a website?
Yes, they do.
What is the name of the website?
I believe Tushy Bidet. I don't know.
Okay, so it's not Tushy.com. Can you just type in Tushy.com just to see if that's what it is?
I don't know what that is good. What's gonna come up by doing that?
Let's see what comes up.
Wow, that was exactly what I thought was going to come up. That is exactly what I thought was going to come up.
That's why I was like, Are you messing with me? Then that's the name of the bidet? Or
Wow.
are they now making bidets?
Now that's going to be in my search history forever.
Oh, I mean, listen, like, I'm sorry that I did not tell you. Well, it would have given it away if I said, yeah, go to your incognito mode before.
But that would have helped me out. Okay, Hello Tushy is the website.
Okay.
Wow.
Hello Tushy. Actually, I feel like Hello Tushy should be the name of that other site.
Hello, because it's right there when you come on there. There wasn't even like a preface.
Yeah.
Are you 21 and over? What happened to those?
They did not ask us. No. They like, and honestly, good for them. They know why you're going there. Like,
it's true.
Like, children aren't just like going just like to that. Like, no, you have to be a seasoned veteran to go to Tushy and Blacked.
Wow.
Again, I'm not trying to make this mad vulgar or anything like that, and I'm not even going to describe anything. I'll just say, if you know, you know, and just keep it moving and keep it.
Oh, but look at this stuff.
Uh-huh.
Tushy has a Tushy system.
Well,
what is the Tushy system? Let's see what it is.
Do you need a system?
I don't know, but I mean, it sounds nice.
Not everything. Oh, okay.
You get a Tushy Classic, a Tushy Ottoman, which is just like that poop stoop, and a Tushy stand and tissues. Now, what are the tissues made
and how
out
much?
of?
Okay, look. Do you need
See.
tissue?
Well, let's see.
Do you need Tushy brand tissue?
Maybe I
say
need
that 9 times fast.
Tushy tissues?
Tushy tissues.
Oh, it's only $1.99. Platinum? What's the platinum? Because I'm fancy. I like to have platinum things sometimes.
Yeah. And I'll just say yeah, and I'll keep it at that, and won't say anything.
I want to know what these Tushy tissues must be for your Tushy. I mean, they're not those tissues.
Do you like?
It's bamboo. But see, now this is the thing. We already have trees being harmed.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need bamboo also becoming extinct because people cannot. No.
Okay, well.
We don't need that. But I will tell you what we do need. We need to get bidets. Because bidets are... Why? Look, it's $99. It's on sale now.
My dad actually did brag that he got a bidet. He was like super duper proud that like he had one. And I'm just like... Yeah, good for you. Like, you've reached the point where, I mean, that is honestly, I feel like having a bidet, well, not having a bidet, buying a bidet and then bragging about it is when you've reached the point that, like, you definitely have disposable income. But
with the Tushy, you don't even need disposable income because it's only $99.
Okay, well, I mean, wait, no, that's just the side holder for the bidet. That's not the bidet
itself.
No,
that's the bidet.
Is that the bidet itself?
The Tushy Classic 3.0 washes your bum with a refreshing stream of water after you poop.
Oh, okay. Well,
and it has the stuff. It's the whole thing.
I'm not going to lie. When I woke up this morning, I didn't think I'd be spending this much time discussing bidets. Not to mention that I don't want to get super duper far away from the thing that I was...
Yes,
So going backwards again to what feels like a million years ago, you said that you've been... Doomsday prepping since Deep Impact and Armageddon came out, right? Okay, and like you've gathered like ever since 7, you sort of like gathered things along the way to just sort of like be prepared, right?
Okay, not things, thoughts.
Okay.
Like what
thoughts?
What do I need?
Yes, and do you remember at the beginning of this, you said I'm a doomsday pressure and got like indignant when I was just like, are you?
Yeah, because you can be a doomsday prepper in your heart, even if you don't have all the stuff.
And that's where I'm getting at. You literally said lockdown happened, COVID existed, and you were not prepared? It's literally in the name of doomsday prepper.
But in my heart, I'm a doomsday prepper.
Okay, well, in my heart, I'm a zombie killer. Doesn't mean that I'm anywhere prepared to be
this is the thing.
Zombies.
I know what you need during a doomsday situation.
Cool.
I know all the stuff. I just did not pay attention enough to all the different news. Now I have to pay attention more to different news sightings of different things so I could be prepared in case of a potential doomsday situation. But alas, I spent a lot of money on, vacations. I was on the road in Carnival. I should have spent some of that money to get a bidet and a gun or something. I don't know. Whatever I need to get some cans of beans.
Did you need a gun this past year? Like, looking back, first and foremost, you're here.
Yes,
you're
I did
right
not need a gun.
Okay.
But I will say,
and also, I don't think you needed a bunch of cans of beans.
I need to get these things for the off chance that something else happens. We're already in a parallelogram with no end in sight.
Mm-hmm.
The farms might stop being able to, like, not even that the farms might not produce as much food, but if every single time there's a harvest, 100 people go out on the field and only now 50 of them get COVID and die, food's going to start spoiling. People don't have any money. Like, you never know what could happen. Yeah. This is what a doomsday prepper thinks about.
Okay.
All the possible scenarios, and I want to be prepared regardless, because I am not going to be cannibalized.
Cool. I mean, well, you have a lot of clothes and candles, so like you're at least prepared in some regard. And if you want to be prepared, then be prepared. That's all I'm saying. I'm encouraging you. If you said if you're a doomsday prepper in your heart, then start by looking into your heart and seeing what you're missing, and then going ahead and making your heart a reality. Make your heart a reality, and let that be a lesson to everybody. Make your heart a reality.
Your sassy pants.
Did you, at very least, update your first aid kit?
I'm going to do that.
As a funny, all right. Do you want to know something really funny? This is absolutely true. This is absolutely. I'm not even just saying this, and I'm not just trying to be a jerk or anything like that. But you telling me that because you told me before that your first aid kit had expired everything in it, and it was like, oh, I should buy a first aid kit, and then I bought one, and now I just have one, so I'm more prepared than you.
You're actually not more prepared than I am.
I know, sure.
Because you don't have the preparer's spirit. So
I don't have the spirit. Cool.
And anyway,
I have a closet full of beans and pasta.
Even though I didn't have a first aid kit when there was an emergency in my building,
I actually might be more prepared.
No, you're not. I have a whole bunch of beans and pasta and rice in my house.
Yeah.
Okay, I have lots of doomsday prepper food stuffs that I'm not going to share with you if you keep up this sassy pants attitude.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, and I guess by retrospect, if you're not going to share your beans and rice and pasta, I won't share my beans and rice and pasta and also my first aid kit.
That's fine, because you want to know why? I'm a Girl Scout, and we make do.
Money by selling cookies.
We make do because we are ingenuitive. We are ingenious. We are inventors.
Yes.
And we get the job done.
Yes, you have ingenuity.
Thank you, because I could not remember how to say
I know.
that word.
Yeah, you're a Girl Scout.
But regardless, Girl Scout, not a spelling bee champion. So
fair enough.
I just what else?
Right. Okay, you know what? Funny enough, this is actually kind of perfect since you're all riled up. Let me ask you. Grind it, you know, keep in my line and grinding. Anything recently that's been annoying you or upsetting you?
Wow. I wonder what that could be.
We're just having fun.
I feel like this week has been pretty even keel, but I will say, okay, this is one thing that I saw that was kind of annoying.
Okay.
So Meek Mill somehow got some lyrics leaked in a song he was going to do.
Yes.
I don't know how he leaked it, if somebody else leaked it, but basically
maybe it was one of those things of like a lot of rappers like they'll put up an Instagram post of themselves listening to a new track that's gonna drop in the background. But maybe, yeah, it could have been that.
Either way. But he was talking about Kobe Bryant, or his death, saying something like if he goes out like in a helicopter, it's going to be like Kobe or whatever like that. And so, obviously, since Kobe Bryant literally, his daughter and the other, what was it, 13 people on the flight, or 13 people total, like literally just had the anniversary of their death like a few days ago.
Yeah.
Or
Do you want to hear the lyric?
all right, you could say it.
Actually, you might have to say it because I can't curse.
Oh, all right, give me it.
Here you go. Starting from right there.
All right, I can read.
Ingenuity.
The track reportedly contains the lyrics, "This bitch I'm fucking always tells me that she loved me, but she ain't ever showed me. Yeah, and if I ever lack, I'm going out with my chopper. It be another Kobe." Now that it was, first of all, just a bad line.
Yeah, so okay. So that was the line. I'm going out with my chopper, it'd be another Kobe. First and foremost, that is like very, very lame as far as like creative lyrics. I like, okay, you're upset about this. Please go on. I did not mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to say the lyrics, or not say the lyrics, see the lyrics so that I understood the context.
Yes. So I think the problem, well, I mean, obviously the line was in severely poor taste because it wasn't just Kobe on there. His daughter and her friends and their families were also on there. So just like a lot of people just died. Like, calm down. But so Kobe Bryant's widow, I'm blanking on
Vanessa.
Vanessa, thank you.
You're very welcome.
She wrote a statement basically saying, this was really in poor taste, and he like was on Twitter. First, he was on Twitter like basically trying to be like, oh, whatever, like he didn't say whatever to her, but he was basically like saying whatever to his haters, people who also thought that it was in bad taste. But then like a few hours later, he tweeted like, I apologize to Vanessa in private. I don't need to do anything for social media, And I'm like, if you're gonna say something rude to someone in public, you should also apologize in public. You should also apologize in private, because I don't want an iOS press release just because, like, I don't want to see it on your Insta story or your TikTok or your fleet. I want you to
or
say
your
it.
fleet.
That is on Twitter.
Okay. Sorry. I'm not. I don't know social media terminology.
Yes,
I just know that
terrible
it's
term. It was a
different.
terrible term. They should not have used it because it obviously sounds ridiculous. But either way, like, I don't want it just on there. I want you to call me and say, hey, I apologize for saying this thing. It was in poor taste, and then go on your social media and say, I apologized for saying this. This was wrong. This was why. And then, move on. No, I mean, I don't understand why that is so difficult for people. So that really grind my gears, because I feel like a lot of times, and this is not just men, but obviously I'm going to talk about men because they're the ones that I feel like do this a lot. They will do things, and then instead of just saying, I apologize for this thing that I did, it's like, oh, whatever. Like, first, it's like, oh, you shouldn't be even mad. It's no big deal. Why are you being a baby? Blah, 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 blah. And then after they get called out for whoever they listen to, because they didn't listen to you originally, now it's, oh, well, I guess I should apologize. But it's like the fakest apology ever. You didn't even do you actually care? It's just like, second, okay, one other thing that grinded my gears, Justin Timberlake. Him giving this fake apology to Janet Jackson and Britney Spears, because everybody has been up his ass after the Britney Spears documentary that's on Hulu when I said I wanted to watch, where they're talking about like the things that she went through and why she has been having like mental health issues and conservatory issues and all that stuff these last few years. And
what did Justin do?
He as in his press people, wrote a statement basically saying, I apologize for my behavior in the past that may have hurt people, and I would like to apologize to Janet and Britney individually because of how my actions may have hurt them. Like, I didn't see any special section of apologies for either one of those women, like outside of that main tweet or whatever he posted on Instagram.
Mhm.
But also, how long has it been?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since in fact, I feel like that was so long ago that I was still living. Oh my god.
We were kids.
We were in middle school.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And I remember my mom just being like, that's so stupid that they're like trying to make this into a big deal. Like, it's just a nipple. Who cares? And I was sitting there like, I remember being so excited because one, loved Justin.
Yeah.
He had just shaved his hair from those terrible cornrows.
I loved the song that they were doing. Like,
yes.
Talk to me, boy. Hurry up. We're gonna get to love. Talk to me, boy. Gonna have to make it better.
And this boom.
And
And
then,
now
yeah.
there's nipples.
Yeah.
Now.
One.
Well, okay.
Yeah, one with a ring on it. I mean no disrespect. No, sorry. Let me be clear.
I know.
I mean no disrespect.
I just was.
at all.
It was. I only laughed because in my head I was singing. If you like it, you should have put a ring on it. Which was.
I love this. And okay, I'm gonna remember this.
So, but like between that and him painting Britney as this treacherous whore, like remember the Cry Me a River video?
Oh yeah.
Where like, and I remember when that came on, watching it with my mom. We were like, "Oh my god, look at
This
how
is
he's talking
scandalous.
about right." And then now you want to apologize after your career has taken off. She's in, this binded contract with her father, not letting her do anything, but still allowing her to tour around the country and the world to make money, but she can't make her own decisions for herself. Like, come on. But like, I just feel like both of them made these apologies that were so bullshit. And now I'm supposed to just be like, okay, sure, I forgive you. No, I don't forgive you. And even though I'm not involved, this puts a bad taste in my mouth. And I'm not even going to watch that movie that I thought I was going to watch with Justin Timberlake in it, where he's a ex-con who's taking care of a little boy who may or may not be gay or, effeminate, and everyone's bullying him.
What trailer is this? Like, I don't even know if I've seen this trailer. Look, I know that I'm out of the loop, but I'm at least on YouTube a lot. Like,
that's where I saw the trailer. I'm surprised you didn't come up for you. I'm gonna find the name.
Yeah, maybe our algorithms are definitely different. Like, I feel like yours are more like inspirational and like talks about like when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie. Mine's like definitely like top 10 wrestlers who won't forget to cry on cue or something like that.
Okay, the name is Palmer, and it's described as, after 12 years in prison, former high school football star Eddie Palmer returns home to put his life back together. And forms an unlikely bond with Sam, an outcast boy from a troubled home. But Eddie's past threatens to ruin his new life and family. It just came out on January 29th.
Well, him and Palmer can form a bond with these, because I will not be watching that movie, and I will not be interested in any Justin Timberlake shit. I haven't been interested in Justin Timberlake since he came out with that album where he was doing country. He was Man in the Woods or something.
Wasn't that with his other band? I forgot the name of that band.
The fact that he has another
it's
band.
like a country band, or he has like a jazz band. He has like that little band that would be touring around and doing stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say I liked, what is it, Future Sex Love Sounds, and that was the last one that came out that was like really big and
good.
That's
fine. But yeah, no, Justin, like I've for a long time have always been like, well, not always, because like I said, I love the Justified album. that was really good. I actually really like the song Take It From Here. But over time I've been like, oh yeah, the trend that all all squeaky clean white teens then go into hip hop and show that they're bad and everything, and then like as they grow up, it's like, actually, you know what, that's not really my genre. I was going through a phase, and now I'm going to go into the woods or something like that. Like just me. I will say that grinds my gears when just like hip hop is so inviting and so welcoming, and hip hop and R&B is very, very welcoming, a community. And I just hate when like people feel like they could just stick their toe into it for a little bit, get nasty and raunchy, and then get to leave and not get to leave. They leave and then they're like, oh, that was a whole different person and a whole different light. I'm not for it, and I peep it every single time. Okay, so It's not for me. I don't like it. I will just give Bieber props. He stayed a long time in it for a long time, a little bit too long, but that's just neither here nor there.
Do you have anything that brought you joy this week?
You know what? Exercising
Exercising
has brought me joy
this week too. Mainly because it's the first week that I've done it. So that's awesome.
And I feel like I'm seeing results already.
I feel very healthy.
Me too.
I love it.
I love it too. If you like it, I love it, and I love it, I like it. And if you like and love this podcast, please let us know, and we will be back next time. So
hasta luego. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. We'll see you next week.
Bye. Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snurdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snurdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorice is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's that's OD THATSOD.E, and on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Snurdy Podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.